Hi guys, my name's Adelaide and welcome to Adelaide Colours. I was just doing some colouring in my Tales from the Midnight Masquerade by Hanna Karlzon, and I was working on hair and I was really enjoying it and having fun, and I thought it could be cool to just film a quick little tutorial on how I colour hair. So you don't need much to colour hair. I have my Sakura Jelly Roll 08 that I will use first, and then I have been colouring it. This is my Queen of Hearts. The hair is just using Polychromos pencils, so that's what we'll be using today. I have this lovely gradient, so I guess that's the important thing when you colour hair, to have a gradient from darks to lights, because it's that value contrast which is going to make it look really good. These are the polychromos, so I will put these pencil numbers below and names, but I'm going to be using the black, which is 199, the Caput Mortuum Violet, which is 263, the dark red, which is 225, the deep red, which is 223, the permanent carmine, which is 126, the coral, which is 131, and finally the beige red, which is 132. And that's the combination I've been using to get her hair, and I'm really pleased with it. She is going to be the Queen of Hearts, and I feel like it suits her down to the ground. Now, in terms of the rest of the picture, so the skin I have already done in Faber-Castell Albert Durers as a base, and then polychromos on top, and the background so far has been done in Neo Color 2s. But hair is just what we are looking at today. So let's get started. So the first step I do to hair is to cover all the hairlines in my white gel pen, just so they aren't so prominent, and I feel like the white gives them some extra highlights as well that really makes them look lovely. I mean, I will hold her up to the camera so you can have a closer look. Yeah, I'm just so pleased with it, and I think you'll be astonished at kind of how quick and how easy it is to do. So let's begin. Here is just covering those lines with the white gel pen. Like, it sounds simple, and it is simple. So I guess it could be a little bit tedious if you had a lot of it, but she actually, that's the nice thing about these Hanna Karlzon smaller books. I find they're just such a great size. I feel enthusiastic about every part of the picture. I never feel weighed down. So yeah, I think it'll happen pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna pause the camera now and finish her hair, and you will see it done in just a second. Okay, so I am back now, and as you can see, all of the side of her hair looks nice and light because I have covered it in that Sakura Jelly Roll 08. Now, I have a 3 set of these, so it came with a 05, a 08, and a 1. You really could use any of these. I think the 1 would cover the lines a bit better, but the 08, as you can see, I've used it here and it's fine. And almost the way it covers most of the line, but sometimes not all of it, I feel like it adds to the lights and darks of the hair. So don't worry too much about that. It's just about lightening those lines so they're not so dominant. So now we have done that, let's get colouring. Now, if you're doing my gradient, we are going to use the lightest, the Beige Red 132 first. If you're not, if you're using a different set of pencils, or if you're using a different colourway, whatever is your lightest. And I should say, really the things I find with hair, you just need pencils that sharpen well to a lovely point and hold their point. That's why I am using polychromos and quite enjoy using them. I mean, you could use Caran d'Ache Pablos, your Black Widows. I mean, look, you could even use Prismas. You just have to sharpen them a lot more. So yeah, just take that into account when you're deciding kind of what pencils to use for hair. So let's pick up the lightest pencil and we're going to think about where we want the light to hit. And we are going to put that in first. And when we put that in, we're just going to use a little flicking motion. So I know, not only because it looks quite good this side and I want to kind of copy it, but usually kind of where the hair curves the most, you're going to have the lightest point. So I'm just going to go in and put that, and it is going to be a bit messy, but I think that is okay. So we're going to be doing a few layers, so it doesn't matter that much. So as you can see, I want my lights to be here, and I'm doing a flick motion, flick up, then flick down. And that's, I guess, one of the tricks with hair. If you do that flick motion and your pencil has a nice point, that's how it looks more realistic. And I think gives a really nice finish. So that's where I want my lights for there. Let's go down to here. So see how that bit's curving out. So I want my lights there. Now the way the light's hitting that, I think I want it to be a bit wider here and a bit narrower here, if that makes sense. So you see it shows how the light's hitting it, how the hair curves. And then the same for here. We might go down a bit and go from a wider part to a narrower part. Yep, I'm happy with that. Kind of, you can see how it's going to move. Well, if she could move, if she was alive. So same here. I'm going to start a bit wider and go narrower in. And I might only go to here because that's going to be quite dark because it's got that curve around it. Okay, so let's do this one, which will be the same thing. So I think that's all looking quite good. I would have the light would hit it here as well. So I'm just going to put that in there where that tight curve is. Same with there. And I think we're done. I think we've got our lights. So now that's in. That really gives us the shape of the hair. So next we're going to go to our darkest, and my darkest is black 199, and I like to put black in because I really think it adds that value contrast. And the good thing is, even if you've only got a 12 set of pencils, like not many, they pretty much always come with black. So you're always going to have a dark and a light to do hair. As you can see, I have 2, 4, 6. I have 7 pencils for this redhead gradient. You don't need that many. You know, you could do it with 4, really. Just depends what you've got and how you want it to look. I find the more colors I use, I feel like my finish is a bit better. So that's why I've picked so many. But anyway, we're going to do this top part first, and we're going to put our dark, the black in. And we're just going to do little flicks from the top, like its hair. So I've got to decide, is that going to be hair or the crown? I might make that the crown, like it's sitting on her head and this is coming out from it. So that will be the black. And we're going to flick out all the way out from the crown. So once that's done, we're going to go down to where this beautiful chain is, and we're just going to flick up our black. So here we are. And it does look a little bit uniform, but we're going to have so many layers, it's not going to matter. If you do have a piece like this that starts a bit up, just go to the edge of that, because that's where it would emerge and where it would be darker, and pop your dark in there. So we're just going to do this top bit first. So we're going to go to our next darkest one, and I'm using Caput Mortuum Violet 263. And we're going to put it on top, and we are going to flick our strokes so they come down a little bit further than the black. And that's really what doing hair is, this kind of flicking progression. And usually I put my lights in so I know where they are, and then I go darkest all the way back up to lightest, and then I go from the lightest down back to the darkness, and usually after that I'm happy with it. So I guess it is quite a lot of layers, but they happen pretty quick. I think you'll be surprised how it will take shape, because I mean this, well, the pencil part of the hair is basically a real-time tutorial. Okay, so that is the 263. So on to our next one. This is the third darkest. This is dark red 225, and we're starting to see some of that lovely red color. I mean, I knew Queen of Hearts, she was going to have red hair. So we're going to flick. Oh. And I hope you can see that with the flicking, kind of the shape of the hair, that's really starting to come alive. And because we're starting from the base, they are at different lengths down, if that makes sense. They're not like one straight line. I mean, that is definitely a bit straighter because that's a more consistent starting point, but because these start from different parts of where the crown sits on her head, they come down at slightly different lengths, and I think that makes it look more realistic too. I mean, it's a Hanna Karlzon picture, so it's not going to be completely realistic, but I still like it to look a certain way. So the next one I've got is deep red 223. So all that flicking. Which is funny, I'm usually a person that really likes, like I did with the skin, to put a watercolor pencil base down first and then put a pencil base on top. But strangely, I don't mind flicking, maybe because it's only for a small part of the picture. So the next one is Permanent Carmine 126. So we're really building that color. And I think with the polychromos, because they're quite a hard pencil, you do have to build it a little bit more than, say, if you were using a Black Widow or a different coloured pencil. But because they are that harder pencil, I feel like you can get a more distinct line more easily. So the texture does look really good with a polychromo. Here we are, we can really see that light hitting the curve of her hair. Okay, and then we're down to our two lightest. So this is Coral 131, and I'm not going to be starting back here. I'm really going to be starting closer towards the edge. Here we are. And then we're going to put our lightest in. So back to Beige Red 132. So there is a layer of it there, but it is nowhere near strong enough. So we're going to put it back on top. And these strokes are going to connect the two edges we've been working on. So I guess it's less of a flick and more of a line you're doing for this part, because we're just connecting them. And I feel like the hair's really taking shape now. Okay, so now we've put that in, we're going to work back down. So we've done our Beige 132, the lightest. We're going to go to our second lightest, and this is Coral 131. Sorry if you can hear that, that's my washing machine going for a spin. And we're not going to go right across, we're going to go back to flicking from the bottom and flicking from the top. So flick up from the bottom, flick down from the top. And then the next one, permanent Carmine, 126. We're getting brighter. And so I hope you can see by layering all these colors kind of up the gradient and then back down the gradient, it's really making the hair looking beautiful. So sometimes, as you can see down the bottom, it's a little bit light. I am just going to go in and just color it a little bit. So rather than flick, just so we can make sure it's nice and dark, because it would be, there wouldn't be light bouncing off it where that chain is holding it down. Once we've done that, we flick again. All right, and next one, so deep red, 223. Oh, I went slightly out there, but that's okay. I've got my eraser. That will get rid of it. All right, 3 left. So in our dark red, 225. So because we're doing a darker color, we're getting much closer right towards that bottom. And especially up here too. And we're down to our last 2. So Caput Mortuum Violet, 263. And it's amazing what a difference the last 2 dark colors make. Like, I guess because you're layering them on top, I feel like you can really see the strands of hair. And then finally our black. So my black strands here are a lot longer than say here, because see how it kind of sits down around where the crown is. I think that looks good. Okay, I'm just going to colour that in down here, just on top of that chain. And here we go. I think that looks good. I am going to go in with my black and just make sure the edge is outlined. That edge is outlined. And yeah, I love it. I love how the light hits it. I think it looks really good. Now, I'm finally, the very last step, I'm going to go in with my light just one more time. And just flick up and down, up and down. just to make sure those lights are in there. Here we go, and that part is done. And yeah, wow, she's really coming to life, isn't she? Now she's got, well, just the top, but we're getting the both sides of her hair done. So we're excited about that. So that is my tutorial for now. I'm going to go ahead and just continue on and finish the next bit, and I will come back to show you my whole completed picture. So see you soon. Okay guys, hello again. I have finished her hair, as you can see, and it was lots of fun. I followed the technique that I showed before. So I had already done my lights so you could see where I was going to put them, and then I started with my darks and went in. I did decide that this part here would be like under the curls. That's why I actually ended up keeping it all pretty dark. I didn't use the last three of my light gradient, of the light side of my gradient. But yeah, so then I went from this dark black all the way up to do the reds and the pinks to the light, and then I went all the way back down and I put this on top to blend it in, and I'm really happy with it. I think it looks good. I love how the strands look. I love how the light bounces off her waves. I think she is going to be an epic Queen of Hearts. So I'm very excited to keep colouring her when I have time. Okay, well that's it from me today. Please, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video to like and subscribe to my colouring channel. Usually I do longer, more real-time colour alongs, but I have been asked for a shorter tutorial, so I thought I'd give this a go. And also I'm a mum and it's school holidays, I'm in Australia, and it is actually easier for me right now to do smaller snippets. I am planning to do, after the school holidays, a full Hanna Karlzon girl. So to start with the skin and then the hair, the background, the clothes, anything else. Yeah, Hanna has some beautiful details, doesn't she? Like she has gems or hearts or anything else, but do a full picture, and probably will be from this book because it has some beautiful portraits that, yeah, I just love colouring. I mean, I've heard of finished too, so that's going to be really fun finding another colour combination for her hair too. Maybe I should go tone on tone of the background and do like a gorgeous purple. Anyway, if you'd like to see other colour combinations too, let me know. Thank you so much again for watching. Happy colouring as always, and see you soon. Bye!